Hey guys, Colin here, and I'm back with another action-packed episode of Look at My Stuff. Anyways, how you all doing out there? Hope you had a nice 4th of July. I sure did. We popped some fireworks and had a cookout. We had a pretty nice day, and I hope you all did too. Now I'm back with another collection of records, books, some movies, and a toy. And also, I have a couple of new vintage movie posters back here. I also collect those. So from time to time, you will see these posters changing around. These are both Vincent Price movies, House of Usher and Theater of Blood. I'm very into classic horror movies, and Vincent Price is some of my favorites. And let's just get right to the records. First off, we have a few new releases. Here we have The Cure Greatest Hits. I've been waiting for this for a while. This is one of those, you don't want to grab out 5 or 6 albums. You can just pull out the greatest hits and hear everything that was a hit on the radio anyway. And this was remastered by Robert Smith. The Cure Greatest Hits, and I like the way they're putting the it's on a black sleeve, but they're putting also the extra colored sleeves separately, and these have some nice photographs on the inside there. And next we have the Cure Acoustic Hits. Wait for this to focus, darn it. The Cure Acoustic Hits. This is also a gatefold with the same artwork inside pretty much. And this also has the same sleeves in there. And next is the fabulous James Brown, Get Down With It, the Godfather of Soul, Mr. Dynamite, and his review live at the Apollo, September 13th and 14th, 1972. This ought to be interesting. I haven't listened to this yet, but it is live at the Apollo. And it was on my birthday, September 13th, 1972. So I was 6 years old when he played at the Apollo in 1972. Way back yonder. And this is also this was a show that my mom took me to see at Worlds of Fun in Kansas City. I've seen James Brown when I was a kid. Well, one of my more memorable concerts I remember going to. And I've been looking for this one for a while, and it finally popped up in my record store here, the Love Garden. The Love Garden Sounds in where I live at. T for Tillerman, Cat Stevens. Now, I've been looking for this because around Father's Day, I heard this song called Father and Son. And I really liked it, and I'm like, I want to see if they have T for Tillerman. So I went down to the record store, and they didn't have it. But today it popped up, and they have a section where they put the new people come in and sell stuff, and they put all that right there in the front, and that's usually where I hit first, and then I go to the new release section. But I like that song, Father and Son. My father was absent most of my life. Right from when I was born, but later in life, we had a reunion, and I forgave him for being absent and all that all of my life. He never paid child support to my mother, and she never really fought to seek that. But we had a reunion in the last several years, and I just let I let things go, people. Sometimes you got to do that to let somebody make amends for anything wrong they may have done or not. And next we have Bill Withers, Just As I Am. This has a lot of cool cover songs. I don't know which ones of these, if any of these are his originals. It has Ain't No Sunshine. Everybody's Talking, we knows Nielsen. But I picked that up. I thought it looked interesting. And next, I already have this record, Jimi Hendrix Smash Hits. That was my uncle's. But the one I have doesn't have the poster. And this one came with the poster, so I had to get it just because the poster's inside of there. Now I don't put these up. I just keep these in the records. Especially if they're a vintage poster. And actually I've never seen this picture. And they're dressed in like Western outfits and on horses. So that's new to me. I didn't even look at the poster yet until just now. We are seeing it together, people. Jimi Hendrix. And next we have Pandemonium Shadow Show, Nilsson, another Nilsson. As you know, my last video I showed Nilsson, and now they had more. Here's another one. I already have it, Nilsson The Point, but this one's in better shape. Now this is a story album. If you go on YouTube and look up Nilsson The Point, it's an animated cartoon. There's an animated cartoon to it, kind of along the lines of Sergeant Pepper or something like that. And I got this one because it also has the little animated booklet with it, which is part, if you go look it up, you can see the cartoon on there. Me and My Arrow, that's a really fun one. And lastly, some 80s hairband stuff. Winger. I don't have any Winger. This is my very first Winger record. It's got this sleeve. There's nothing really special about the sleeve there, just the lyrics. But here we have the Winger. What's on here? Hungry. Without the Night. Heading for a Heartbreak. Pretty good tune from the 80s. You all remember the 80s. Actually, I was in high school in the 80s, and I didn't really get into the hair bands then when they were popular. I was listening to the Doors, Jimi Hendrix, bands like that, the Jefferson Airplane. I was kind of into the 60s psychedelic rock stars, I guess you'd call them. But that's what I listened to in high school, even though I did have a Motley Crue patch on my jean jacket. I didn't really listen to them that much. I just wanted to look cool with the rest of the crowd in my acid wash jeans, and I had the feathered back. My hair was short and it was feathered back on the sides. We would stand around outside and smoke our Marlboro cigarettes rolled up in our shirt sleeve like that, you know. And back then, if you wore tore up jeans, it was just jeans they were like tore up jeans. You tore them yourself. Like tore your knees out was popular then, and make the stringy things hanging off of your jeans. But now you go to the expensive Dillard's or somewhere, Macy's, and you can buy a pair of those tore up jeans for $100, people. Anyways, now we're going to get off to some movies. Walmart's been having some pretty good sales on movies, and I'm still just getting the collections. I'm not getting individual movies, really. And I don't know how many of you remember the Night Gallery with Rod Serling was the host. And I remember watching this with my uncle. The Night Gallery. And next week, you all got to know the Twilight Zone. This is the complete series here, folks, for a good price at Walmart. This whole series is on Netflix also. But at some point, if I don't have Netflix or I don't have cable TV, then I have the physical copy to go back and watch All 156 episodes, also hosted by Rod Serling. And these are all classics with all kinds of classic TV and movie stars in it. And lastly, we have the 8-movie collection of Friday the 13th. A slasher flick. It's kind of a classic slasher flick now, but some of the newer ones they've been trying to have, like made by Rob Zombie and whatnot, I just didn't care for them as much as the first few original Friday the 13th. They sort of lost track of the character, I think, in the newer ones, and I think they're even trying to come out with another one. Probably the worst one was where they had Jason in space. Anyways, and now we got some of the classic science fiction books. The Twisted Men, the Ace Double books again. I got about 70 of these, which I will be sharing off and on. They Tampered with Eternity, the Twisted Men. On the other side, one of our asteroids is missing. They stole his world and his name. Now, who runs off and steals an asteroid? That's a new one. It sounds interesting, though. Some of the stories they have in these, they need to go back and make some classic science fiction movies from some of these stories that are in these. They keep remaking things, and they just go do something original, movie people, and quit doing the same movies over and over. And here we have Time to Teleport. Walls could not stop them. It looks like Marilyn Monroe's trying to teleport or something. I mean, let her in, people. Here we have the Genetic General. Did he face a galactic Waterloo? Put Napoleon in space. Is that Waterloo? I can't remember. And the last book is Into the Universe. Alternate universe, and here we have a like a cruise ship that's floating around in space that must have went to an alternate universe, adrift in a cosmic mistake. And the Coils of Time, the world that could not be. And we'll read a little bit of that, just a beginning. This is 1964. Dr. Henshaw had created what he thought was a time travel machine, and he had sent guinea pigs through it, but now he needed a human guinea pig to test it with. Christopher Wilkinson thought the whole idea was absurd until a book that had been sent through the machine came back with a thumbprint on it, the fingerprint of Vanessa, his long-lost sweetheart. So Wilkinson agreed to the experiment. He stood in the white circle facing the machine as it began to gleam and spin, pulling him down through the tortuous coils of time. That sounds very interesting. And I just started getting into those classic science fiction. Now, I'm also into pulp fiction, which I still have a bunch of those books I haven't shown yet. And lastly, for the antique part of this, it's not very old. It's from the 80s, and it's kind of falling apart and whatnot. But I found this Mr. T bus. Its windows are all busted out and cracked. I just thought it was interesting. It looks almost like something from you would see in a zombie movie or something. You see this old broken down bus in a salvage yard or out in the middle of a field, and you have all the zombies running around here trying to get, and you're hiding inside the Mr. T bus with your mohawk and your gold chains, trying to keep the zombies off of you. Or actually, there is a bus salvage yard I've seen before towards Kansas City, where there are actually broken down salvaged buses, which look pretty similar to this toy. You know, it's coming apart on the bottom. It's stuff like that. But I just thought it looked interesting for anybody who remembers Mr. T from the A-Team. Pretty cool, huh? And that's the whole video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you had a nice holiday. Colin over and out, and Weirdos unite.